Hey there, and welcome back. And we got our dude here, and he's chilling by his fireplace. But this fireplace, oh, it's got a problem. We gotta add some light to it. It's got its particles, it's got its wood, but there's no light coming from this, and that is a serious problem we gotta fix today. And so to do that, always getting our trusty part. You're always gonna be using these everywhere you go. But today, I'm going to showcase to you a few of the different kinds of lights that we have in Roblox, that Roblox has provided to us as developers that we can use. And the first one, well, let's go ahead and insert object, right click insert object, and you'll notice a few of them here. So down here we have a point light, we have a spotlight, and we have a surface light. These are the three different kinds of lighting. Point light is going to be, you can see it on the wall there, you can see it on the roof and on the floor. And a point light is, think of it as just a big ball around this part, this big sphere of light that's being emitted. It's emitting in all directions. And let's make a duplicate of this. We'll move them over. We're going to delete the point light, and this guy is going to get a spotlight. And I'm going to change the color to good red. I'm going to change the angle to a bit smaller. Alright, so let's rotate him. So you'll notice that this light is only pointing in one direction. It's coming from this and it's pointing in this direction. I can change that by changing which face. So I could change it to the top, and if I move it down you'll see it a little better. It's facing up. I'll undo that, and you'll see, let's just go over these properties. We've got the angle, which is how wide. So if we're looking here, it's how far left and how far right the light will extend. We have its brightness, so how strong it is, that sort of stuff. And we've got our color, enabled or not, which side it's facing, as I showed you, the range, so how many studs away from where it's emitting from it will affect. The max, I believe right now, even if you put in something like 100, it'll drop it down to 60. So currently, as of this video, the maximum range is 60 studs. Shadows. If you have shadows enabled, that will, because of the way the lighting works, the walls have to be fairly thick, but with shadows enabled, it will try and not go through walls that it shouldn't. This is only one stud. I believe it has to reach 4 before nothing will go through it, just because Roblox's lighting system is based on 4 stud grid. Hopefully that'll change, but for now, if you're seeing light going through walls, you can either change the size of your range, make it smaller, or mess around with the settings a little to get it to not go through. Other things, we just have name, parent, it's this part here, and that's about it. Point light, similar story, basically all the same stuff. And so quick recap, point light emits in all directions, spotlight points out one of the faces, and there's one more light. I'm going to pull this one out here. And both of these emit from, both the point light and spotlight emit from the center of the part, but the surface light, it's similar to a spotlight in that it emits from one side, but emits over the entire side. So we're going to go to the bottom And let's do a comparison here. Actually, I'm just going to do this. So if I resize this, you'll notice that the light is covering, let's see, oh there. You'll see the light is covering the entire area underneath this instead of just the center. And this kind of lighting could be useful if you've got, you know, long, like a light strip, or it can be used for some just general ambient lighting in an area. You can just make the roof use a surface light with some very soft lighting. You can change the brightness down to something a lot lower, and so you can see, you know, it's a little bit brighter under here, and so you could bring up the light level in some area using that. And of course you can change color and all of that stuff. So those are the different kinds of lights, and the one we want for today is this point light here. So we don't need these. We're going to go back in, and previously we have a part here that is our fire part with our particle. Let's right click and insert a point light. So that is all good. We can just change it to a fire color. We'll make it a nice orangey glow. Maybe change. One thing that's nice is we could make the range like pretty big. You can see it gets bright, but then we can tone down the brightness a little. I'm going to bring this back a little bit, but we can tone down the brightness just a bit, and it gives it a bit of a warm glow from the fire. And I'm going to bring, you can see in real time what color it's going to be, so you can fine tune it a little bit to something that you like. So there we go. That is different kinds of lighting. Shadows, sometimes shadows, because of the voxel, the 4-stud grid, also known as a voxel grid, sometimes you might hear that. Shadows don't always work the greatest. In small spaces they don't work so well, like this, where it thinks that all of these logs are covering it, which is working as intended in a way. But for this, we're just going to turn those shadows off. And so now we can move this chair over, rotate it a bit, just set that over there, and we got our guy here. So he's just gonna chill here by the fire. And right, so you can see we got a lot. In our next video, I'm going to cover a little more on lighting, and we're going to talk about the lighting of the entire place. So not just like local lighting stuff like a point light or something like that, but just the lighting for your entire game. And so we'll cover that in the next video, and I'll show you some of the properties in there that'll help really bring this scene to life. So until then, have a great day, and I'll see you later.